Hi, my name is Dara Dietz, and today I want to spend a little time talking about allergies, what we can do and how to best support the bodies to clear these issues. First, one thing I think we need to understand is what an allergy actually is. A lot of people think about it or understand a food allergy to be a negative poisonous type reaction that they're having to certain foods. And when you completely understand what is happening and what the food is doing, you can better appreciate how to support the body and to clear these issues from the body. First off, the natural foods that we have, that God's given us to feed the body, are not poisonous to the body. What happens when you have an allergic reaction, you break out in a rash, anaphylactic shock, any of these things, massive movement of fluid swelling, anything like that, when you look at it and understand it, what is happening is that food, that substance, is causing the body to detox very rapidly. And those toxins are moving rapidly, and when they can't, like when you have an eruption on the skin or a breakout or a rash comes up, it's the body trying to push the toxins out through the skin. Basically, the food or natural substance, now we're not talking about drugs or poisons or anything here, we're talking about food that God's given us to feed the body. When a natural food like this has a reaction like that in the body, it is detoxing the body more rapidly than the immune system and the body can deal with it. So that food actually has a work that it needs to do in the body to clear some particular issue. When that issue is cleared and the food has been allowed to do the work it needs to do, you'll no longer have these reactions to the substance, the food, whatever it is. An example of this was a friend of mine years ago. She was actually one that introduced me to a lot of the natural healing that I understand now. She would have serious issues over strawberries, anaphylactic shock, her throat would swell shut. I mean, strawberries could kill her. And with the understanding that she had become to have on food allergies, she decided she was just going to clear this. So she did several months of liver flushing, really got her body open, cleaned house really well. And then each day while she was doing an active liver flush, she took a nibble of strawberry, which in other situations could have been almost deadly to her because she did have anaphylactic shock with strawberries. What happened while this was going on, what happened was she first broke out in a hive over her heart, and then that went away. Then it worked down and it broke out in a hive, I believe it was over her liver, and then that cleared up. And basically it worked down over every organ in her body, breaking out, clearing up until it had pretty much cleared the system. This all while she's actively liver flushing and keeping her bowels moving well and just keeping, dosing with echinacea every day, really supporting her body to do this work that the strawberries wanted to do. And they went through and did their job of detoxing. And this was just with a little nibble of a strawberry every day. And at the end of all that, she can now eat strawberries like anyone else. She no longer has a reaction to them. I do not suggest that anyone go out and just madly do this, because it takes a lot of work to get the body ready to be able to allow this food to do the detoxing work that it wants to do. Think very seriously. But in the meantime, what we can do to support the body and to allow the work to be done, there are several really good points. The first one is just getting the bowels open and moving well. If your bowels are open, it's the largest eliminative organ in the body, and allowing that waste to move out well will prevent the backup of it, which is that toxicity is what is getting moved around when you eat whatever food it is that wants to detox you. It's just going to stir up all this and cause symptoms and reaction. So getting the bowels open, getting everything moving in the right direction will allow the body to clear the waste instead of recycling it, reabsorbing it, which is when you get your symptoms. Your body is constantly working to move waste out. And when it runs down or depletes its reserve of immune cells and of the nutrients or whatever it needs to do the work that it's doing, and it can no longer get the waste out, then it's going to be reabsorbed, and that's when you're going to feel symptomatic. You're going to feel the symptoms and feel like you've been run over by a Mack truck. So this is why with allergies, with infections, with anything when we're trying to get waste out of the body, it's important to boost with your echinacea, an ounce a day of echinacea, 4 to 6 days a week, depending on how serious the issues are. And that's to support the body in getting the waste out, making sure the eliminative organs are open. Your bowels have to be open and moving well. An intestinal formula with the herbs like the lower bowel formula #1, a formula similar to that with the senna, the cascara, sagrada, these types of herbs that work with the peristalsis to move the waste out more effectively and keep everything moving well without atrophying the bowel. That doesn't take over the function of the bowel, it causes the bowel to function more effectively, and that's why these herbs are so effective and work so well. It's not like a laxative that you're taking that is just going to make everything slip out and move out. This actually causes the peristalsis, that squeezing, kneading motion that moves the waste through your body, to work more effectively, so that the waste is moved, your bowel is doing the work that it's supposed to do. And this is moving the waste out. So the meal that you're eating, when you chew and swallow food, you initiate the peristaltic motion. The meal that you're eating goes to your stomach and your small intestines. The meal that was resting and being absorbed in your small intestines is now going to be moved into your colon. And the meal that was resting in your colon, being absorbed there and resting there, nutrients absorbed all throughout the body, you should be eliminating that within an hour of a meal. So this is how we know that you should have a bowel movement with every major meal, and then one in the morning. And the one in the morning is because of the liver dumps that come into the bowel overnight. So you should be having between 3 and 5 bowel movements a day, depending on how many meals you eat in a day. But one after every major meal, and then one in the morning. That is what you want to see with your bowels moving well and feel that you're eliminating well. You need a good blood purifying formula or detox formula, something that is going to purify the blood. Red clover is excellent to be in this type of formula. There are any number of wonderful herbs that purify the blood, and this is going to help get the blood purified so that you don't have this toxic blood floating around in your body causing headaches and symptoms and all these things. You'll get your blood purified, and then your symptoms are going to start clearing up. So getting the eliminative organs open, getting the blood purified is the first few steps. Now on the food program side, you want to completely eliminate from your food program all white sugar and white flour. Those two foods are just poison. They just are going to destroy any good thing that you're doing for yourself. So avoid anything and read your labels. It's amazing how much stuff sugar is in. The only sweeteners that you really want to be using are your honey and your maple syrup, that are the good safe ones. Those are complicated. They're not going to pull calcium from your system or cause your system to become acidic, which is where the allergies and all that feed off of. Okay, and of course white flour, cheap food, processed food, you want your whole grains, all that good stuff. And your dairy products, of course, are going to create phlegm, and just phlegm causes just backup and blockage throughout the body. So your dairy products, the milk products, all of those things need to be gone. And if the issues are really bad, you really want to look towards vegetarianism, at least while you clear up the issues. You can try reintroducing meat, if you want to eat it, back into your food program after you've got yourself cleared up, and just see how your body takes to it. If it gives you really bad issues, then it may not be something that you want to eat. It just depends on what you want out of life, the quality of life that you're going to have, and what it takes to have that quality. The best food program to use while clearing these issues is a vegetarian food program. That is the best. After you've got things cleared up and you're feeling better, you can reintroduce the meat products or other things and just see how your body reacts to them. Most of the time, though, sugar and white flour and things like that need to stay gone. While you're doing a healing program, it is a good idea to flush your liver once every 30 days or at least once every 3 months. The liver is the vacuum cleaner of the body, and if you're not flushing the liver through, keeping the waste moving on, it's just going to back up, and then everything's just going to back up again. So while you're doing the healing process, while you are clearing the symptoms and getting your body free from the backup that has allowed the allergies to be, you will want to liver flush at least once a month and no less than once every 3 months. And that's just changing that internal vacuum cleaner by getting the liver flush through, making sure everything just keeps moving as it needs to. You can look at some of my other videos on how to do an ELF. There is the liver flushing ebook that is in the description of the videos that you can download, which will take you through several different types of liver flushing, different ways that you can do it, and different intensities of liver flushing that you can do. So check those out, but know that liver flushing needs to be a part of the program. Another very important element in clearing allergies is making sure that you drink enough water. You need to drink 1 ounce of water per day for each pound that you weigh. So if you weigh 150 pounds, you should be drinking 150 ounces of water a day. There are 128 ounces in a gallon, so you're going to drink a little more than a gallon of water a day. This is needed to keep the cells flushed, to keep you all the glands lubricated, the dry eyes, the itchiness, all of that is important. The water, the fluid, the flushing is important just to keep all these toxins moving in the right direction. So making sure that you drink enough fluid, enough water, so that you can keep your cells flush, keep the waste and toxins moving out as they need to move. And the best recommendation I've ever understood is 1 ounce of water for every pound that you weigh. So somebody that weighs 130 pounds would be drinking about a gallon of water a day. There's 128 ounces in a gallon. So it's not rocket science. It's not, perfect. You have to drink exactly this, but get close to it. I mean, if you just shoot for a gallon a day, providing you don't weigh over 200 pounds, you'll probably be pretty good. But to be close on target, think of 1 ounce of water per each pound that you weigh, and try to get that much in each day. Okay, another thing that we want to look at is pollen. A lot of people have issues in the pollen season. I mean, when the pollen levels are high, especially here in the South, it's part of the news, what the pollen level is for the day. There are things that you can do, and one very specific thing to be able to counteract the effect that pollen's going to have in your body. Again, first off, we need to understand what pollen is doing. Pollen is detoxifying you to a very deep level. It is a detoxifier. And so what is happening is when the pollen levels are up, you are being detoxified. Everything is moving. The toxins are just being stirred up and cut loose, and if they cannot get out of your body well enough, they're going to react on you in any number of ways. Okay, one way, and one of the most effective ways I know of to cut the effect of pollen, is to use honey from your area. You need to find a beekeeper in your area, someone whose bees use the pollen that is affecting you when they make their honey. So find a local beekeeper and get your honey from them, and use a teaspoon to a tablespoon every day, all year long. This is going to keep the pollen, allow the pollen to detox you continually, so that when the pollen levels are up, you will not be so affected by them, because it will have already done that work in you. It won't be like something new that suddenly your body is being detoxed with the seasonal changes. You will have taken in this pollen all year round. It will lose its detoxing effect on you because it will have done the work already, and there will not be a backup of work, a backup of stuff that needs to be cut loose and moved out of your system. You'll stay up with it, and this will greatly eliminate the effects of the pollen season to you. So try getting honey from a local beekeeper and use it every day. Okay, food allergies are another very common cause of headaches. One of the worst culprits for this is sugar. A sugar headache is just miserable. And what it actually is it's almost like a withdrawal from the drug that sugar is. So eliminating sugar, table sugar, from your food program will eliminate a lot of the headaches, the allergy headaches and things that come. Again, cheese and milk are also foods that need to be eliminated when you're dealing with allergies. They just stop the system up and prevent the movement, just gum up everything. So they are not a natural food that you want to work past. These are processed foods that are probably never going to be acceptable in your body. So cutting them out, finding a way around them, or limiting how much you eat of them would be a very good idea. But while you're clearing the worst of your symptoms, completely cutting out dairy and milk, the cheese in your milk, would be a very good. One of the last suggestions that I have for symptoms of allergies, outside of using an herbal combination to clear the symptoms, an allergy and hay fever combination is excellent, and will, with the correct herbs in it, can really knock the symptoms down. Using it twice a day will, in the morning and in the evening, can really bring the symptoms under control while you are clearing the issues that are creating this in your body. Another support that can be used for clearing the sinuses and head and getting all this draining, what you're going to do is you're going to take a horseradish root and blend it with apple cider vinegar to the consistency of applesauce. Then you're going to take a teaspoon or a quarter teaspoon of that, an eighth to a quarter. If you can't take a quarter, take an eighth of a teaspoon. Put it in your mouth and hold it between your tongue and the roof of your mouth. and you're going to feel that go up and just go into your sinuses and just really start clearing, and as the oils and all that seep up in there, it really can clear your head. You want to work up gradually day by day to where you can do a teaspoon, that you hold a teaspoon in your mouth at a time. And this is going to be excellent for clearing the sinuses, and actually helping to get inflammation out of the sinuses also. Horseradish is restorative. It has healing properties for inflammation and all that, as well as the effects of clearing the sinuses. So making the horseradish, blending it with apple cider vinegar to the consistency of applesauce, and then using starting with 1/4 to 1/4 of a teaspoon, and then building up to a teaspoon at a time. And you can do that 2 or 3 times a day as needed to help clear the sinuses and clear the head. Horseradish goes to the head, and it will clear out what's going on up in the head and relieve some of the pressure from backed up sinuses and all that. Okay, so to summarize, a good program, what you want to do for clearing asthma issues, allergy issues, is get the bowels open and moving well, eliminate processed foods, white sugar, white flour, all that from your food program, along with your dairy, your milk, and your cheese. Get those eliminated, and the meats. Probably you should come off all meat products until you decide, you get cleared up, and then you can decide what you want to do with those. But clean up your food program, get your bowels open, find a good blood purifying formula or detoxing formula, which is just another good name for blood purifying formula. Allergy and hay fever type formula will be helpful for relieving symptoms while you're clearing this. And remember to flush your liver once every day to keep the waste moving, keeping everything moving out well. Use your water, 1 ounce of water per pound that you weigh, and you can combine that into teas or just drink it straight. Add a little lemon, make it lemon water. However you want to get that down in a day, but get down 1 ounce of water per pound that you weigh in the day. And that is an excellent program for clearing your allergies. If you have any questions or there's anything more I can help you with or any suggestions, do let me know. My email is mail@healmarketplace.com. I have a blog at daradietz.me, which has quite a few resources on different healing issues, and I believe I've got an article up there on allergies.